Hey guys, welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery, helping you get to the $1 million mark. That's kind of my goal. I wanted to give you all a heads up here before I get into this next episode. We're going to talk about the application from going to the Lego experience in Somerville, Massachusetts. I always like to take things and try to kind of apply that to the practice, some of the cool ideas. I've been working with, I think it's 4 or 5 other people in a WhatsApp group with the $1 million mini course, I call it. We're on week 3. It's been a really, really good experience with camaraderie and kind of being with each other, asking questions, getting doubts. Some people have different ideas, and the nice thing is it's not just my ideas; it's ideas from others, kind of giving things that at work. A person was talking about something I don't do, which is like a total contact cast. I don't do those, and we're talking about different ideas about things. So it's been a good experience so far. If you are kind of interested on podiatrypracticemastery.com, there's a place for you can sign up for the next one. Go to it's like there's a link on the bottom, $1 million mini course, and it's just kind of to show your interest, and then I'll send out an email later on to that group. But today I'm going to go over the Lego Experience application. And so I recently, my kids were on April vacation, and I took them to the Lego. Took a day off of work and I went to the Lego, but I can't help myself for thinking about how we could apply these things to podiatry. So number one were the tickets. So the tickets for this experience, they were like ticketed times, right? So at 10 a.m. Is the one we got it. That's when it opened. And what I like the idea about having like a ticketed experience is that it kind of increases the value. So you had in ticketed time to get there. There was like a 3-hour like timed period to go in there, and I think we probably paid. I'll talk a little bit later about like what we paid for it, but I just think the idea of having like a ticket or events can be a big thing. We've tried a couple of events. We've done webinars in the office where these are like online, like Zoom webinars, where tickets were free, but people could get in, but they had to register. I think it kind of creates a Zoom about things. And then another thing that we did was we do a yearly chi running course. So there's a chi walking and a chi running course. I think it's every year, every 6 months. There's another company that comes in and does that. He's just as passionate about it. He's one of our patients, and he does that for our patients. So it's something that's cool, that kind of offers a kind of a ticketed experience. So that's number one. Kind of like consider doing something where there's a ticket, something you can offer for your practice. So we paid tickets, and then with the tickets, the interesting thing was, this is number two, is they had different packages. They have like the basic one, which is maybe $30. They had advanced one and the pro one. I always tend to go to the pro level. So if I can avoid waiting in lines when I go to Six Flags or go anywhere, I'll pay more. And I think a lot of people are like that. And the basic was just to go in. I think the regular one had a 3D ride, which we got the one with 3D ride. It gave like a free Lego kit, or not free, you paid for it, right? So it included a Lego kit and the whole experience. So we did the advanced one, and it was neat. We got like these little character like minifigures, we call them, and then like the actual packages of Legos to play with. And the 3D ride was kind of fun. I kind of got a little sick on the 3D ride because you're like, I've never used these 3D glasses where it moves you around. But it was a neat experience for my boy especially. And but how can you kind of apply that to the clinic? Well, can we offer other things that are more of an advanced experience for them? So, for example, you can do what's covered, right, for wart care, for example, and then you can do like more of an advanced treatment, which would be Swift, right? And Swift would get them better faster, things like that. Same thing with heel pain. You can do the traditional heel pain, which would be cortisone injections, things like that, or you can offer shockwave, right? Or you can offer ultrasound. So these are more of the advanced therapies to get people better faster. And I think patients are willing to pay for that. They see the value of it. They're always willing to pay for speed. That's what I find. So when I explain a lot of these things, I say, typically if I'm doing Cantharidin, it might be, 3 to 10 visits, depending on the patient. Whereas with Swift, they say it's 2 to 3. I always say go for 4. That's kind of what I'm doing for patients. Same thing with Shockwave. Like Shockwave, I say it speeds up the healing by 50%, and it's about 82% effective. And so that's kind of the wording I use, but people want to speed up for speed. And you don't realize how many patients, like when they have a fracture, like just a simple toe fracture, they're willing to pay for speed. So they're going to want to do 3 sessions of shockwave, focus shockwave only, to get that, to maybe give them a week or two to speed it up. So a lot of patients are willing to do that. So number 3 is getting a visit with a Lego master. This was one of our coolest experiences there. So my boy likes to read all these Lego books, and so the Lego master there, or like team, whatever, the master builder person who builds all the like Fenway Park and all the other things that are there, he teaches something. He teaches a little lesson. It was a kind of a little. It was actually just a little turtle that we made. It wasn't a hard build, but he had a good presentation, and he had a neat way of making it more challenging, like only using your non-dominant hand. I thought it was a neat idea. But like, what are things that we can do in our office to teach, right? And I think this is where those webinars come in, like doing a monthly webinar. I offer that periodically in the office, or I have recorded webinars that they can do. But do lessons and teach them how to treat things in different conditions, and kind of show them, like he did. He showed us kind of like behind the scenes different tips and tricks. And I think those are good ideas for like shorts that you could do for your office, different little tips and tricks to make buying shoes easier, make anything else easier that you're doing even like a webinar or doing a class, having a kind of a group session, let's say, to have patients come in. That's what we do, the running class. You could talk about anything else that you want, like how to buy shoes. You could do a meetup at a local shoe store, invite all your patients to go to a local shoe store and kind of teach them about shoes. I'm just thinking about ideas. So things like that would be kind of a neat idea. Or even bringing someone into the office. We just don't have enough space in our offices, but even bringing someone in to do a lecture, getting like a shoe store person or a podorthist or someone else to come in and do a guest lecture, or even do the guest lecture yourself. That's number 3. Number 4 was the idea of there they had a lot of things to sell. So they had a store. And I think a lot of us, we have things to sell, but we don't really have a great way besides offering it to patients to give it to them. So I think this is like the area that, like, if you could just pick one of these and try to do one. That's what I always recommend. Don't try to do everything. Just pick one that's kind of interesting to you. This is the one that's most interesting to me. So what we have in our office, we have like tons of stuff that we carry, but it's not all like visible when patients leave. So kind of like the idea of the supermarket where they have like the gum and everything else for sale, like they can see some of the things, but having more of a storefront as they leave, that they can kind of look at things to buy, or even better than that, which I'm thinking of, is getting a little flip book that they can look through of all the stuff that we sell in the office, kind of like have like a Boudin splint, what it's used for, hammer toes, or a crest pad used for hammer toes, or you could have it like hammer diagnosis specific, like everything that you have for hammer toes, everything that you have for ulcers, everything that you have for fractures, things like that. You could put that in a little flip book. And I think the easiest way, that's what I'm thinking about doing, is actually just using Google Slides and putting like a picture of it and kind of what it's used for, and kind of keep it simple. You could also use like Google Docs to make one of these and print it out, or make it in a PDF. But I like the idea of Google Slides because you can make a little flip book, kind of like from one of these photo companies where they do the photos, like if you're super cheap to print out one of these days. So that was my idea of the catalog. Do a store and just put in everything that you have in there. And you could also, I've heard about doing this like in your check-in, or I'm sorry, in your waiting room. You could include like a short little slideshow of all the stuff that you have in there, like as part of the stuff flashing. And you could put one of these little photo books in each, so patients would kind of spontaneously ask about those things. And then finally, if you want, I'm still at number 4 about the store. Another option, if you don't have an Amazon storefront, you can go to Amazon, whatever it is, storefront. You can see mine if you want. I'll put a little link under the description of this, where you can see my Amazon storefront. So you put things in there. The way I do it is based on diagnosis, and then when patients come in, occasionally, and mostly I'm not referring to that for my actual patients, I'll put a link to it on my patient treatment process, like the web page. So if they want to learn more or get other stuff, I'll tend to guide them to what they need. Occasionally, there's certain things I'll have them go get, but most of it I sell in the office. But occasionally, like, I'll have them get a special over-the-counter insert, since we don't do those. We only do custom insoles. And occasionally, there's a couple of other things. But I have everything there in case they want to. So you could also do a similar catalog for like your Amazon storefront. And doing that would be kind of a neat idea. Okay, number 5 would be doing, this is kind of a neat thing. When we were there, they had ways of buying minifigures. So minifigures are the thing that you have the head, the torso, and the legs, right? And with these minifigures, when you do the tour, you get one of them. When you come out, you can, for like $18, you can get 3 of them. You can make your own, like pick the 3 that you want and put them together and put them in a special bag. But then they have even something that's for $18, I think about 18, to make your own, where you can print the shirt, like what you want on the shirt, put on Boston or whatever you want, or write things on it. And so you have your own custom made torso, and that's for $18. So my thought is, like, what are other things you could do in your office? Some people just want stuff that's custom to them, and they feel like they're willing to pay more. So, for example, could you give them, let's say you have the traditional way of treating plantar fasciitis, but you could make their own custom treatment process for Zach or for whoever it is. You could do your regular orthotic, but maybe you could do a special custom top cover to the orthotic. Or you could give custom shoe recommendations or anything else that they would kind of feel like it's custom. What are things that you can kind of design your own? Even, I think this will be there in the future, or maybe you even know this if it might be there now, but could you even like give them options for designing their own minimalist shoe, like a shoe based on their foot type, scan their foot. So you have a special shoe that's made specifically for them. And then you'd be able to sell that to the patients, right? So those are kind of the ideas of the custom. That's number 5. Number 6, the number 6 would be, this is funny. Afterwards, we went to get ice cream. So first of all, there's a great barbecue place nearby, so we got the barbecue. I'm a kind of a barbecue connoisseur. Brisket specifically. So if you ever want to get me a gift, because none of you pay me anything for this podcast, so you could send me brisket, I would be happy to get that. But we went to this ice cream place after the brisket, and I'm a peanut butter kind of maniac, so I got peanut butter, I think cookies and cream, but my boy got something else. But in there was like a Lego themed thing. So it was close to the Lego place, Lego themed like picture with Legos about the ice cream. And so my other thought is, like, is there a way you could have something about your office in other places that are nearby? So this is the thought of, well, when I have a physical therapist that I refer to in his office, he has my plantar fasciitis books. Okay, so he puts my books in there because I refer so many people to him. Shoe store, for a while, they had different books in there that they were giving out to patients, or different. They could like almost like a download, like almost like a postcard. They could get our foot pain toolkit. So different things like that in these other places that they would be speaking about you. It's kind of a reciprocal agreement. So I thought that was kind of a neat idea. Could you do that to shoe stores or other types of stores around? Number 6, and the last one, number 7, is there was when we were in there, we got the most expensive package, right? So if there was a more expensive package, we probably would have gotten it. So always remember that some patients are willing to pay more, like with Shockwave to get better, or a couple of pairs of orthotics. I had a patient the other day, got a second pair of orthotics. We give him $200 off, and he said, "Well, can I get a third?" And I'm like, "Okay, we'll give you $250 off because it doesn't take me any extra work." So there's a lot of those that are going to want second, third, fourth pairs. They're going to want to do these things. And this guy, the other thought is, so we were there and we see all these people with lanyards around their neck with like a cool Lego lanyard with like this stack of, I don't know, like almost like postcard things on there with shaped like Lego characters. And we're like, where did you get those? And it had everything that you could do in the Lego shop. So it had like everything there, and you had to go in and stamp it when you went to the different sessions. And it was an extra $5. Now, if they would have offered it when we logged in, like we would have bought it then, right? But we had to buy it separate, which is no big deal. But in there, it had like a lot of other things that you could do. So this is my whole idea of, can you like have something that you're going to give to patients when they're there, or have them buy even, that would share everything else that you do? Because when they go there, they might not know everything that's available for them to do in the Legoland. Same thing in your office. Like they're there for an ingrown toenail. They think you only do ingrown toenails. So what is it that you could give them? Either just like a one-pager, I call it, which is be front and back. It has everything that you do in there, or the most common things that you do, or something that they can leave with that'll kind of jog their memory, a brochure, or anything else like that. So you can say, oh, hey, by the way, they do these other things. He has these resources. One thing we have on our website, if you go to either probably my Dr. Pelto website, there's something called a foot treatment toolkit. And in there is everything that we do. And patients can kind of log in and they see all that we do, the videos on the condition, the treatment treats. They see the books that we've written, the webinars, everything is kind of in that one resource. So that's like a resource that then we can give to the patients, and then they can kind of log in to get access to it. Anyway, those are my ideas. Love to hear what you guys think. I will put a couple of those links underneath the description if you're watching this on audio. And once again, hope this was beneficial based on my trip with the kids to the Lego place. Okay, thanks.